Hello, Lols, as he's just not responding on text. It's the Subversion Live Aftershow. It's the last one of 2024 season in 2025. I'm delusional. We're off schedule. I'm not in my right mind. But nonetheless, it's the final aftershow of the season. We're here to recap episode 9, the penultimate episode. I've got two amazing guests to do it. If you're not subscribed to the YouTube, I don't know what you're doing here. It's episode 9. At what point will you learn? That's our Subversion. YouTube ads, all that fun stuff. Join the Discord because we're about to enter an off-season period where we're going to have some shit happening. So you might as well be in the Discord. All those fun things. All right, I'm bringing on the guests. They're both from season 1 of Subversion Live. They've both been here before this season. I'm ecstatic to see who gets more words in. Simona and Brent.
I don't think it'll be me, but we'll see.
I'm gonna bet on myself on that one. I'm just saying.
I would also be betting on you. All right, here we are. It's the penultimate episode. I want to hand it off to y'all. Any thoughts coming in? We left on Matt and Madeline going out. But any thoughts coming in before we get into episode 9? Floor is y'all's.
Hit it, Simona.
Oh God. I mean, just like so many devastating eliminations. Like, I feel like every execution I'm upset. And like, they're all fantastic, right? And so it's like not really like I'm rooting for anyone in specific to go home, but like I feel like especially both of the doubles that we've had recently have just been so brutal, like at least recently. Like the Nathan Kim elimination was horrible. And then Matt and Madeline was also just, it was poetic. It was very cute, you know, the rivalry ended in a very clean way, but you know, we've landed at this spot where I feel like just every elimination has been sad, but I love this final group. I think they're fantastic.
Yeah. Everyone's wonderful. You know, that's how I feel. I mean, really. Okay, the Matt elimination execution was problematic. That was tough for me because they're both good team TV. They kept it real in the confessionals. They let each other have it. They had a good time during the game. They light up the screen anytime the camera points in their direction. I can't say the same thing about everybody else. Like there were some people who got eliminated and I was not sad for them to go. Not that I dislike them. I just wasn't sad for them to go. Okay. Like the Nathan Kim elimination. Really, girl? Like, you know, what? Like I like Nathan and I like Kim, but I would like somebody got to go. So might as well be them. I'd rather keep Team Good TV over here. I'm not saying they're bad TV. I'm just saying some people light up the screen more than others and I keep it real. So, and by the way, this is my own personal fucking opinion. So, you know, like, that's me. That doesn't mean I'm right. It just means I have an opinion.
I don't disagree. I mean, there are people who just feel more comfortable in the booth, and there are people who were shady, not in the confessional booth. I'm like, where was that energy when we asked the energy over in the confessional booth? Like, Ethan, my love, is a very shady and hysterical human being.
Really?
Yes. And maybe he's just camera shy. And that's totally fine. That's fine.
I mean, it's got to be on camera. It's got to be on camera or it doesn't exist. I remember when I hate to bring it up, but Sequester season 4, I was there. Audrey was like, look, if you don't get it on camera, it doesn't fucking exist. It didn't happen if it's not on camera. So if you've got something important to say or you want to make sure the camera sees you, make sure you pull somebody over and make sure an iPhone or a camera is pointed in your direction. Just like what Sarah, i.e. the mole, did to Carson a few episodes ago when she yanked him aside and said, get a camera over here, and was like, look, and slapped it. What did she do? No, she threw water in his face. That's what she did. It was glorious. She threw water in his face and had a good time. And like, why the fuck are you writing my name down on the quiz? So, she had something to say about that, and she made sure she got it on camera. That's how it's fucking done, and that's what I said in the Discord, was that's how it's done.
And it's so funny because, and this is like gay culture, RuPaul's Drag Race, people had a cow when Pearl had an interview where she said RuPaul said something that was that really hurt me when they were on set of season 7. And RuPaul told me nothing you say matters unless that camera's rolling. And everyone like shout on RuPaul for saying that. But did she lie?
She did not lie.
No. Did she lie though? Because like nothing that happens off camera ultimately matters to the episodic content because it doesn't exist. You can say whatever the fuck you want happened. If it's not on camera, we can't prove or deny.
So I'll just say something really quick. Matt, I just want to, like, I know I said this in the Discord, and I know they read it, but like Maddie and Madeline, God, I can't even say their two names together. Matt and Madeline, Jesus fucking Christ. Matt and Madeline were glorious. Put them on any fucking episode. Put them on any season of Subversion. Bring them back. I don't care. They were great. They were just really, really fun people. I had a great time watching them. I never ever thought Matt was the mole. He was terrible at that. However, Madeline did get some suspicion from people early on, mainly just because she was just really naturally kind of shady, and I think that attracted suspicion from people. I didn't have her that high on my list, but she was still on my list. And going out as a potential suspect is always something fun. So I really kudos to both of them. It was a glorious fucking episode. I hated to see them go. I would rather a few other people left, but here we are with these 5 people.
Here we are. Alrighty, let's hop into the episode. So we just lose Matt on a tie.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about the tie. Thank you. Yes.
We do have a tie, which I do have to. Well, now that he's out, I do have to poke some fun at Carson because I really did have to roll my eyes hard at his confessional this episode where he's like, so happy to have control of who knows what about who I'm suspecting. I'm like, where was that energy when you gave your notebook to Matt? Like, you don't know what Matt then did with that information. Matt could have ran and told everyone, hey, here's what I saw in Carson's notebook. So you don't truly ever have control the second you give someone something. You no longer control that information. That can go anywhere that Matt wants to give it. If he gives it to someone, then that person also can give it to whoever the hell they want. So like that just really tickled me. But the one thing that really took me by surprise is he's like, I'm shocked Matt went home because we had the same playbook of information. I showed him my journal. He had everything I had. So maybe I was in the tie. Also forgetting that Carson had a +1. So ideally, all things constant, all things same. You should not have been in the tie with Matt, assuming you had the +1. Obviously, it doesn't work if you get a perfect score. The +1 is you can't get higher than a perfect score.
Right.
People aren't getting perfect scores. Like, that's out of the question anyway. So that doesn't matter. So, like, for him to be like, why? Maybe I'm in the tie. I'm like, math ain't mathing, my friends, on that one.
So can I stop you real quick? Because before we get into the episode, Simona, I don't know if you've been watching the after shows, but Carl has been getting his last fucking nerve worked with some of these people. Like, I see it in his face. He's just dying to tell us something. And we're 2 days before the finale, okay? Yeah. So can you explain, okay, on our season at this point, Final 6, everybody knew who the mole was, okay? Yes. Everybody fucking knew at Final 7, I think, okay? Because that's when Jackie went home. Yeah, that's when Jackie went home. Yeah. So where are these? Can you tell me? Again, 2 days before the finale, Carl. Where are these people now? Like, are they more in the 1, 2, 3 area of scores, or because you were ranting about that on the last episode, that these people think they know everything, and yet if everyone's thinking the same way, they could all just be getting 2s and 2s and 2s and 2s. Yeah. Maybe one person gets a 1 and they're out of the game. Or are they more in the vicinity of 2019s and 18s like Liv, Craig, Gavin, all those people who were at the end of my season who I didn't know?
Yeah. The person who goes home this episode, Carson, is not in the 2019, 18, 17, 16 crowd.
Okay. All right.
But we are in the camp of everyone is 1,000%. There's nothing changing their mind at this point. Regardless if they're right or they're wrong, we've entered that point.
So I'm assuming Carson was Carson in the tie with Matt? I know you can't tell me if it was somebody else, but was Carson the person in the tie with Matt? You don't know.
There were a few people in the tie.
Okay, cool. All right.
There were a few
people off the track. Okay.
Carson was one of them, yes.
Okay, cool. All right.
That were also in the tie.
All right.
Yeah, we're now in the part where everyone's confidence in what they believe, and nothing at this point is going to change their mind. Madeline, I think, was the last person who wasn't confident in what she thought.
What's interesting is, like, there's kind of this air, and you see it in the confessionals, where it's like everyone thinks that everyone's going all in, everyone thinks that everyone has it, and like maybe even that they're on the same person. It's not 100% clear, but there's no explicit naming of who people are on at this point, which I'm like, damn it, tell me who you're suspicious of, because I want that information as a viewer to like help inform, okay, so this person went home, they're not the mole, right? But I don't know, Brent kind of alluded to this earlier of like Sarah, aka the mole. But it kind of feels like there's literally, when they're getting the rules for the last challenge, it's like Sarah is on this side of the couch, and then the other three kind of look like they're like sitting together on the other side of the couch. Like, it looks like there's a gap to me. I don't know, but I kind of picked up on that. I'm like,
well, and also like going back to the last episode, I want trying to get all this out of the way so we talk about this episode. But going back to the last episode, did you notice, Simona, how when they're like plotting and scheming during Balderdash about who gets what and what where, that it just seemed like they were talking around Sarah? Like she was not involved in the strategy of anything that was happening there whatsoever. It was like on my season where people just talked around Matt because Matt's the mole. Shocker, spoiler. And they know they can't get the mole to necessarily do their bidding for the pot. So they're making an effort to get everybody that they can get on their side. And they know that production will not let them reveal. If they absolutely know who the mole is, they know the production's not going to air that content. So they talk around that person. But I'm wise to that happening now. So it feels like that's what was happening during Balderdash. Like, did you pick up on that? Or is that just me, like, seeing what I want to see? Because I've always suspected that Sarah could be the mole, and I only got more confirmation of that this episode. But I did call it out last episode. But go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I think I definitely saw that a little bit. Like, with the cards and everything also, she was kind of trying to like intentionally be unhelpful, and then she was like, oh, it's because I needed Carson out. It was like, right, like.
Well, that didn't make any sense. Yeah, that was just complete. That was Balderdash, but yeah, that was. I didn't understand that.
The way that she was choosing to show her cards and not, like, regardless of what the strategy was happening, I think she made it very clear early on in that challenge that she wasn't going to be explicitly helpful. By like not showing who was the first person to go around. Was it Sam? Like
Sam, it was Sam. But we have But I was talking about the last episode where they were like plotting like who was going to get the exemption, who's going to get the +1s. You remember that episode? Sorry. Yeah, and they were just talking around Sarah. Anyway, we can talk about this episode since she started talking about this episode. But yeah,
I don't disagree. I don't think Ben also was like hella involved because I think Sam and Ethan are very close.
Ben ain't the mole. Come on, moving on.
Sam and Ethan were very close this game, and like they had a vested interest, especially with it. Like Sam and Ethan had a vested interest in giving it to Ethan, and specifically getting it away from Carson. I think Ben was included because he's sitting between them. I think Sarah does not like Carson in this game. I think had Sarah been at the other table, she would have been very down immediately to be like, please, anybody but Carson. But I agree. I think Sarah was the least involved in the conversation because Matt's with Carson, Ethan and Sam are together, and then Ben's literally sandwiched between them.
Right.
Also, Ben doesn't give a fuck. He's got an exemption. Why does he give a fuck? Like,
right, of course, yes.
Whatever. I don't care. But I don't disagree with what you're saying at all. Okay. But let's hop in because Simona's already alluded to the cards of it all. It's match poker. The team is playing, trying to create the best hands at the 4 stations. Each station starts with 9 cards, and then over time, they will get more cards from within the boxes as well as trading cards within each other. Initially, their only source of communication is the person who is circling, but they can earn walkie-talkies throughout, so they can just start communicating more directly and not relying on the person who's circling. That person who's circling can also hold 2 cards as part of the trading if they want. All that fun stuff. Let's hop into it. We start with Sam. Sam's the first communicator elected by herself. So she's
as she should be.
I would say she's easily the best communicator, without a doubt.
Oh, so since we're talking about Sam real quickly, I remember last episode you were just coming for Sam because, like, my God, why are you so mad that these people think that you're the fucking mole? Like, you didn't understand where she's coming from. Carl, need I remind you about Karthik from our season? She thinks she's the fucking town hero, okay? It's the town hero syndrome of it all. She's done everything she can get money for the pot, and she's just beside herself that anyone could doubt her intentions. So I know good gameplay would indicate, yeah, I would be happy that people would think I was the mole. But no, she just can't. That's just not in her. That's not in her universe. I don't think it could have been in my universe when I was playing. If people thought I was the mole, I would have been like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Like, I just wouldn't entertain it. You know what I mean? I'm just built that way. Go ahead.
Oh no, yeah, and he was dumb for that too. I will give Karthik more credit in the sense of I feel like he actually added money to the pot. I think Sam has revisionist history about her abilities in this round.
Okay.
She did very well, and it's not that she's doing poorly, but like she's acting like she's never stumbled once in her life, and that there's no reason anyone could ever think she's the mole. And I'm like, babes, you've stumbled here and there, and also here. Like, again, are you doing better than other people? Absolutely. But for you to act like you're this perfect angel who's never messed up, I'm like, babes, we gotta take a step back.
Okay.
Roll the
Yes.
tape.
Let's not do that.
But like of the contestants who are there, I feel like she's done a pretty good fucking job.
Yeah, I would agree.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. She's the best. She's the best communicator. And she starts the challenge.
Without a doubt, she's the best communicator. So like, good on her. But we start this mission off, and again, not everyone knows poker. It's fine. It's why they had the sheet there to tell them what the hands.
I was dying.
What those hands mean as well.
Oh.
But we're off to a bad start because Station 1, Carson starts there. Sam's gonna circle around, and Carson's like, I can make a spade royal flush. Great. They end up doing that. Fabulous. But they're already off on a bad start because Carson's like, let's just go for flushes. So I'm just going to give you 2 of the same suit and move on. And Sam doesn't realize it till she's moved on, being like, why am I going for straight flushes? I should have taken 2 cards of the same suit that are next to each other, or at least like close together. I think she took like a 2 and like a 9. You can't make a straight flush with that. And she realizes it too late after she already left. But Carson's a fucking idiot. Why did he give me this? Also going, you're an idiot. You took it. But like, we're already off to a bad start. It's just like, come on, like, you can't, like, you have to use every transition effectively here. You can't afford, well, I mean, barring everything else that happens, you gotta every time you're going station to station and be strategic with it. And out the gate, I'm like, oh great, we're off to a bad start. But let's get to she's the moment of this challenge. It's Sarah. Sarah, I mean, she says many times to the camera, not only in her confessional, but straight up to the mission camera that's filming her, I'm sabotaging this. I don't care. I want people to think I'm the mole, and I want people to answer me for the upcoming quiz. I want people to do it. I don't care. I'll do whatever it takes. She's not showing her cards to Sam. And it only gets worse from there. She then hides her cards. She's hiding walkies. I mean, any chance she could to really just fuck with this mission, she took it and made sure the camera was watching. She gave no fucks.
Okay.
Thoughts on Sarah in general? Do you believe her? Do you think she's? I mean, obviously we know where Brent's at. Simona, where are you at in this?
Well, I have thoughts on it. Go ahead, Simona.
Oh yeah. Is she the mole? Is she like playing into the fact that Carson, who we know for a fact, has said for the past 2 or 3 episodes at this point, and maybe 2, that he thinks Sarah's the mole?
I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I've kind of been leaning a Sarah mole, kind of as I was saying earlier, but I kind of hope it's one of the other 3. But just like because of the way the dynamics are, kind of like Brent was saying, like they're working around her a little bit. And so if it's not her, I think that's fantastic, just in a TV sense. And it's like they're all wrong and they're playing each other and someone's really still getting through, or at least fooling the others. But I think the way she's played this game has been very mixed. And I think the confessionals are really throwing me off. Like to at this point be like, I want people to guess I'm the mole. Like it's a little bit late to really be going for that kind of reverse psychology. I think like a lot of people have a lot of information from all of their quizzes, right? And so if they've been high on her and they think doing well, right, to then really explicitly sabotage, like I don't know how much that would really make me second guess at this point. So I don't know. I think that's probably where I lean in terms of my mole suspect right now. But there were definitely things in confessional that she was saying that were throwing me off. But at the same time, like, she's not going to sit there and be like, I'm the mole, right?
So one of 2 things is happening. Either Sarah realizes that they're onto her And she's like, well, fuck it then. I watched like Victory House Mole season 2 or 3 where Peaches was the mole. And she knew at some point they all onto her. So she's literally she's like, well, fuck you all then. I'm just going to sabotage everything because I know everybody knows. So fuck it. I'm just going to be so outrageously, unbelievably sabotagey that at least I steal so much money from the pot. That's good for me. And also, too, maybe my overt sabotaging will cause you all to second guess that I am actually the mole. Mm-hmm. So that, I think, is what's happening. Mm-hmm. Or 2, and this would be glorious if this was actually what happened. She's pulling a Dennis Rodman from Celebrity Mole season 2 and realizes she's made a horrible mistake at the end and needs to reinvent herself quickly with 2 challenges remaining left in the game, or missions left in the game. I don't know, challenges, whatever. Anyway, so she decides, I'm just going to absolutely fucking sabotage everything in sight, try to make a big move here, try to make a big play, and push all of my chips in the middle and hope that someone else makes a mistake. Yeah. And if that's what she did here, I will fucking stand up and applaud her like that. And also she's been glorious in confessionals. Sarah's also good team TV. Like she's great. I don't know how many times I've clipped something. I think she's got to be the best, even more than Madeline. She's got to be the person I've clipped stuff of and posted it elsewhere. Like I'm a table games dealer and we had a particularly low tip rate this past week. In fact, our lowest one in 4 years. So I posted that clip. It was just random. It's the summer. It happens. Anyway, it wasn't. We're not dying for money, but like it was just happened to be our lowest one in 4 years. So I posted the clip of Sarah saying, "So we were poor again." Like when that clip, and I'm just like, she's so clippable. I love her confessionals. Absolutely. But again, if she pulled a Dennis Rodman here. But it's either or. It's one or the other. It's not. There's no in between. Either she's the fucking mole, or she's realized she's made a mistake at the end. She needs to quickly reinvent herself, and she needs to sabotage everything in order to get some suspicion on her. And I'm leaning heavily towards the former. It could be the latter, in which case I'll be gobsmacked. But that's okay. That's good. That's good TV.
Yeah.
You go, Simona.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, to add to that, like in the next challenge, it's funny, right? Because she does this whole massive sabotage thing, and then she has this confessional where she's like, "Well, after that, I'm gonna work really hard to earn money for the pot now." And then we see her like solving these shapes at like a snail's pace, and like maybe that's just the trend of the season of like the no urgency of it all, but like. I was like, okay, you're gonna work really hard to earn money from the pot, and you're counting the shapes like 1, 2, 3. You know.
Yeah. Again, I don't know where she's at this point. I have to think she's the mole. I have to, and I have to kind of ignore what Carla is saying, because I remember like they were saying like Madeline got eliminated when she put more answers on Sarah than Ben as the mole, and like, but you also don't know like what people are actually doing when they get to the quiz. You also don't know what other people are doing and how high their scores are. So, I mean, it does give me pause that Carson goes out, spoiler, later in the episode. And thinking possibly that Sarah's the mole. I don't know what he did on his fucking quiz, though. I really don't. Maybe Sarah messed him up and her overt sabotage and got him second guessing himself. I don't know. But we're not there yet, so we'll see.
Exactly. Yeah. And that, I mean, I think the beauty to Sarah's strategy here is like she at least knows Carson thinks it's her. Obviously, she can't be sure of what Ben or Sarah or Ethan is thinking in this moment, but she knows for a fact.
Right.
Carson suspects me, so like. She can play up this role no matter if she's the mole, if she's not the mole. She's absolutely going to play up this con of like, I want you to think I'm the mole, regardless if I am or if I'm not. And lucky for her, she ends up in a position where Carson spends the most time with her during this mission, where she's able to like play in his face and be like, think what you want, do whatever you want. Because I know where you're at and I can fuck with you. And that's the problem in this game of letting people know where you're at. Because if you allow someone to figure out that like, oh, you're on to me. Well, great. Now I can play into that.
But in his defense, not that I'm going to defend Carson. Oh my God!
Carson.
But like you all made him expose himself when that sounded weird. You made him expose his answers to what he thought on the quiz by putting the written quiz on the board, and other people could look at his answers. So like you can't totally come from Carson that she figured out that he's onto her because he had to expose that. Maybe he could have picked somebody else for the who is the mole question, but he's also fighting for his life, and that was the double elimination. There's only 5 people in each group, so I don't know that I would have been okay just like slumming one question that I don't want to offend someone's feelings, and when it might cost me my spot in the game, Yeah,
I mean, that's the risk you had to take in that whole thing.
Yeah, of course. That's what you wanted by doing that. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. And he's in Kim's group, and I've not been shy to say that Kim scored a 1 on that quiz. So, like, if you feel like Sarah's the mole taking that quiz, you can easily look and see that Kim is answering no questions on her if that's the case. And then you can scale back a little bit. Obviously, at the final 10, I mean, no one's sure. No matter, despite people saying they went all in, I'm like, the scores were ass at the time. Were very bad. So I don't know what was happening there, but I'm like, if you're confident, you can at least scale back a bit. But regardless of all those things, yes, he had to reveal to some degree some things at that point, and Sarah clocked on to what he was answering and use that as ammunition here. But Sarah's just an absolute joy in this challenge, and just is not sharing her cards, and she's forcing everyone else to kind of have to play more openly in this mission to counteract what she's doing. Even though I don't necessarily think it worked the best for them. So like round 1, I think Sam helped get Carson his royal flush, but I think because they were so focused on that, they kind of ignored the other stations. Like Ben's OG station that he's at for most of the mission doesn't get a lot of money, and the cards he has weren't very good, and they didn't really try and help him. They really tried to uplift Sam's station and a little bit of Ethan's station. They didn't really focus on Ben's station a lot, and I think that was some missed opportunity. And then obviously Sarah's OG station, all the cards gotta go.
All right. So the other thing that made me suspicious of Sarah, notwithstanding her obvious sabotage in this mission, is that it's not necessarily what she's doing. The other contestants were not surprised that she was sabotaging. Like Sam told other people that Sarah's not showing me her cards, and they were just like, "Oh, okay." If it had been like me or Simona in the game, like we'd have been like, "Why the fuck are you doing that? Like, what the fuck? Like." Why is she doing that? Like, I mean, I just it didn't seem like that they were totally nonplussed about the fact that she was sabotaging.
It's weird because and that's what was so confusing about all the actions in this mission for me, is that you have people who aren't acting surprised at what Sarah's doing, but then you have instances where Sarah's like, I'm going to give you an advantage if you give me some of your cards, and then they give their cards to her. So I'm like, which is it? Do you not trust her, and you're not surprised that she's being a shit stirrer, but then you're also giving her cards? So
well, they're fucking idiots, because like aren't like, I know the rules of Subversion. Like, there's no advantages after the final 6, correct?
No, and we
that's what I thought.
The rules debrief with them.
Yes,
they all signed it. I wrote my notes. I'm confused.
Can we talk about the dancing? Like, I would like to talk about the dancing.
Talk about the dancing, because I don't know where that came from.
That was so funny. Like, I genuinely was like, what was going on? And then just to see it actually continue was so funny. Like, I don't know. It made the most serious conversations, like, that it was making me giggle to see everyone kind of try and, like, be, like, bouncing the whole time. Like, I thought that was hilarious.
So this is so funny because, I mean, like, yeah, it was fun. I'm going to give him credit. Ben, this was a lot of fun. Okay. However, like, I would have known Ben was lying from the look on his face. He practically giggled when he was telling Sam that this is what we have to do. Also, who's the fucking judge of how much dancing that you have to be doing? Like, because Ethan wasn't really dancing much, and then he started to dance. Also, Ethan dancing, I was living my best life. It was like, white boy incarnate if it was a person, like dancing. Like he was just like he did the thing with his hips, and then he went like this, and then he's going like this, and like watch it when the first time he does the dancing, it's and he's wearing that orange sweater, or whatever he's wearing, like I don't know, but like it just, oh wow, it was just like, it was adorable. It was just fucking adorable. Anyway, but obviously I knew, like, you knew this was not like part of the mission. Also, they told you at the beginning how this is how much the mission is worth. They tell you how much you can see if you add up royal flushes from 3 different things, or whatever the max is to get to $124 or whatever the hell this was worth. Like, come on, like, you're not gonna get double. They would have told you could get double. They would have told you could get $256 or whatever the hell. So come on, people.
All the actions this mission, just, it was really confusing. It's the giving cards to Sarah if she's already shit stirring. Why are you giving her more ammunition? Ben's so clearly lying about the dancing, yet everyone's engaging with it. It's like, it's not true, or at least you would think it's not true, but then you're still doing it anyway.
But like, just in case.
Just in case, I guess.
Just in case,
Like, Ben's dropping his cards and not giving a fuck about the value that he had at his station, because that station was basically worthless by the end. He's like, I got 2 twos. I'm like, okay, like, congrats. A pair is worth like nothing in this mission. Like, why are you not trying to get more 2s for a 3 over 4 of a, like, it just there was just a lot of money left out on the table, on top of the fact that Sarah did what she did.
There was a guy I was dealing to in high limit. I deal at a casino, and I was dealing blackjack, and this guy was having a good time. He was betting, like, higher and higher and higher. And then finally, like, he had a 17 and he stood on it, and I had 18, and I started taking his money. He goes, whoa, what are we doing here? And I was like, you lost. Like, that's what I would say to Ben. Like, dude, pair of 2s, great, you lost. Yeah, like, there's no money.
Yeah, it again, like, Sarah gets a lot of the credit for how badly this went, but I also am like, there were elements where I'm like, other people just kind of were resigned and made it worse from themselves. And
okay, how much money did they earn in the end? How much was it worth, and how much did they earn?
35 out of 124. It's like, not terrible, but there definitely was.
Well, that's pretty terrible. Yeah, I mean, like I'm trying to add in the fact that Sarah's sabotaging everything, so there were some cards that they just couldn't get. Yeah. But I feel like with 4 other stations, you're getting like 36 cards, because there's 52 cards in a deck. Each station there are 5 stations. Each station had 9 cards. So I mean, so were all 52 cards available, or were just 45 cards? 52
cards were out there. So
okay, cool. So like, kind of basically, like, Sarah's got 10% of the cards. So with 40, we'll say 40-ish of the cards, you should be able to make some semblance of some better hands than 1 royal flush and everything else. Like, yeah, that was pretty ass. Yeah.
So there was a lot of missed opportunities. So as much as she took the show, I think there are some slight mistakes throughout that I was clocking on to, and I was just like, oh, could have done this, could have done that, could have done that. But regardless, $35. We head to the quiz. What do we think about Carson peeking over Sam's shoulder? Because she's already alluded to the fact in past episodes that his notes are ass, and the only reason he has good notes is because of her. And now we literally see him peeking over her to get further notes on the one mission that has occurred.
Simona.
The clip was so funny, like, where he's like narrating this, and then we literally watch her like turn around and see him. Like, I thought that was hilarious, very cinematic.
Go ahead. Sorry,
I was gonna say, like, if you're at this point in the game and you like can't take your own notes, like, how do you think you're gonna win? Like, genuinely, how do you think you're winning? No, seriously, like, it's a skill that you acquire and you build over the course of the game, right? Some people come in with a stronger understanding of what they want their notes to look like and what their notes need to look like. But if you've made it this far, right, the final quiz, no one, like, once you get to this kind of final 7 range, like, people aren't really helping each other anymore, right? And so, like, if you haven't built the skill, because you have to have that foresight a little bit of, like, eventually you're going to get to a point where people aren't going to help you with your notes. And so you do kind of have to figure out how to do that in order to literally win the game. So I don't know. I think, like,
and he's a med student. Like, he should know how to organize stuff here and memorize stuff. Like, that's all they do for the MCAT. Come on, like, girl, what are you doing here?
So I was a little bit like, you know, you should know what you're doing at this point. And of course, like, I'm sure it was at least a little bit to be funny, but also, like, in seriousness, like, quiz study time is valuable, and like, yeah.
Well, I don't think he really could see that much. Like, if you're gonna, like, she's gonna know you're like hovering over her shoulder quickly. Like, you're gonna feel that or see a shadow or hear something. So I don't feel like he could see much. I thought it was just something fun. I'm glad they Foster included it in the edit of the show. I will say, ironically, Carson's last episode, in my opinion, was his best, and he's only in half of it. Like, that sounds so cunty. I'm so sorry, dear. But like, it was fun. It's more fun watching Carson be vulnerable than watching Carson just constantly sabotaging everything. As I said to Nathan when he got eliminated with Kim, and he disagrees with me on this, and that's fine. This is my opinion. You know, doesn't, again, my opinion doesn't mean it's right. But from my perspective, when you're always sabotaging, is it really chaos? Like, it's not. Like, if it's just like, oh, here comes another mission and Carson sabotaging again. Like, okay, another mission and Carson sabotaging again. Like, it's not interesting anymore. It would be like if Kim had decided at some point, I'm gonna just fuck with these people this round. Oh my fucking God, that would have been amazing. You know, I'm not sure she's built that way. Again, I don't think I'm built that way. So like, I don't think I could have done it. But I do feel like Carson had it within himself to play a little bit more straight some of the rounds and play it a little more chaotic other rounds. You know, maybe he thinks he did from his perspective. From the edit, it seemed like he was basically sabotaging every episode, or trying to, or attempting to, or trying to goat someone into sabotaging with him. And I got a little bored with it. But this episode, he was fun. Also, he wasn't wearing his glasses. He's so handsome. Like, he looked, no, for real. Like, he looks great. So like, I was just like, I really enjoyed him this episode. Again, he's only in half of it, and he ends up going out here. But people are always more fun to root for when they are flailing at the bottom as the underdog. You know what I mean? So, you know, if you're at the top, if you're the favorite, no one's going to root for you. You know what I mean? So like, I could clearly see from the edit that Carson was in trouble, and he knew he was in trouble. So that made you want to root for him more. And you were kind of like holding your breath when his name was called at the execution.
Yeah. But I do like something you said in the terms of predictability of your actions. Like, if you become someone who is predictable in how you're going to act, people can then take that into consideration and work around you or implement that into their thought process or their strategy. When you are sabotaging literally everything, people come in knowing, all right, we can now put you in certain roles, or we can just not listen to you, or whatever the case may be. And that's why there is such an ebb and a flow to why people do the things that they do. Again, have there been moles that have sabotaged literally everything because of that? Yes.
Right.
Like, typically most moles do the ebb and the flow of, I'm going to do something here, not so much over there, so I am unpredictable. Have some moles gone balls to the wall at every mission and just sabotage things because that's the reverse psychology of it. Absolutely. So I'm not like taking it away, but like, I do agree to, like, I think some degree that there were people like Nathan and Carson who kind of, okay, we know what we're going to get with you at this mission. We're just going to skirt the other way and just like limit your influence. So I agree there. Absolutely.
Yeah. What I want to say, this is so on my season of Subversion, only one person ever answered that I was the mole out of all the contestants on all the quizzes for the 4 or 5 episodes that I was in. Okay. And that's a problem. Like, from my perspective, that's a problem. I wish I had done more ebb and flow. And I'm trying to look at, okay, like, so why did people not suspect me? Why was I so obviously not the mole? I mean, I wasn't the mole, but how could I make people think that I was the mole at some point? You know what I mean? And I feel like the best players can do that to some degree. I was just incapable of doing that my first season. And I feel like in some respects, Ethan and Carson were also equally incapable of doing that because they could not get off the constant sabotage. I mean, it was just, that's who they are as people. So it's very hard. Again, you go into these reality games, I don't care if it's LRG or if it's Survivor, you're going to be yourself. It's very hard to not be yourself. And, you know, the people who are able to balance like the yin and the yang of it all, the ebb and the flow, are the people who are going to succeed more than the people like myself.
Yeah, and it's a hard balance. Mole's not easy in terms of like staying true to yourself, but also trying to have all these external factors happening at the same time. Like you want sus, but you also don't want sus at the same time because you do want to have some trust to get information. Like you got to balance all these things.
It's also,
yeah,
like Sam would say, a little bit the main character. I'll shade myself on this. Like I remember playing and I didn't care that people didn't think I was the mole in the moment. I knew people didn't think I was the mole. I didn't fucking care. I just wanted to go because like I was living my best life. But that's a problem when you look back on it and you're like, wow, you know, nobody ever even little thought that I was a mole, you know, like.
But also why people suspect others is so drastically different. Like who knows, this season, a lot of people have looked at Sam as someone being like, you are so verbally gung-ho, but your actions don't necessarily reinforce that. And Sam has still been a major suspect this season. Maybe if you were on this season, people would also be looking at you because you would also fit that Sam archetype of you're so loud about wanting to win, but we aren't winning money. So like, what's happening? So it just also depends.
She's very me.
Respect.
I've always said that Sam's like the female me, like, and Maddie too, like in certain ways. But like, yeah, like they're just like, you know, Sam. The way Sam yells at people and just like rolls her eyes at people and just like fucking idiot, you know, like morons. I'm surrounded by idiots, like that kind of attitude. That's just that's very me. Yeah.
Well, speaking of Sam, let's get to the quiz. We get to the voiceover portion of this. The one thing I do love is that, and this is a problem for many players in the mole format, is I think there's a lot of overconfidence that comes with quizability. Ethan and Sam have both said on multiple occasions, not just this episode, but episodes before that, like, I've already won. Like, I can beat anyone on a quiz. It doesn't matter. My memory, like, it's over for all these people. Well, if you're both players, that both can't be true. At least one of you is going to get out quizzed. And egg will be on face, at least on one of them, possibly both of them. And I just really, this overconfidence, while it's great to watch as a viewer, it's just like inside, it's like killing me because I'm like, oh God, like at least one of you is about to get real hurt when your ego gets real bruised, when you realize you're not God's gift to the earth in terms of quizzing on these things.
Yeah.
And,
I think that's interesting because like I think I'm someone who's typically relatively confident, right? I am a student, or until recently was a student, and like I test very quickly in general, and even still in any mold game that I've played, like I've always kind of had a sense of like I think there's just a major sense of insecurity, and maybe that's because of my like actual performances in mold games that I've played, but I think it's just like, no, I must go as fast as I can, and like constantly assessing who might be a larger threat than me in any circumstance, right? Like thinking about who else is going to be quizzing better, or who do I need to be looking out for. And I would have that mindset, I think, all the way through to the end. I think there would probably be a point where it's like, okay, like I think I'm onto something and I still need to be as fast as I can and as accurate as I can. But I think, you know, I would be worried about Craig, right? I would be worried about Craig all the way through the end game, right? Like it wouldn't matter how on it I thought I was and how fast I thought I was being. Like that is someone that I would be worried about all the way till the end, right? And so to be around other people who do kind of have this similar air of confidence and still be so confident in yourself and your quizability, I think is a little silly, and definitely like sets yourself up for disappointment. And maybe it's camera play, right? Maybe it's just what you're saying to the camera. But yeah, I think it's definitely best to like, at least in my experience, expectations set a little bit lower.
Yeah, I think that's fair. So the funny part is when you bring up Craig, that the episode after I go out where Carrie goes out, Craig was in a tie with Carrie for like, I think they both had one question correct out of 20. And girl, we were that close to having him out of the game. I know we were both out at that point, but like looking at how our season went, when he like rules the season and gets to the end and almost wins the game as a totally new player who didn't know anybody coming in, like that close, like that fucking close. That's how like mold games can get decided. Like that's crazy shit. Carrie answers one other question another way, and like it's like totally different.
I know. I mean,
like,
me
he's
too,
not, he's
right?
not there anymore. I know.
I answer
right?
one
Same,
question
I know.
differently, and I stay. Like, yeah.
I don't think I had a chance, but I do think you did. And like the fact that you went out so terribly, like unlucky, just very unlucky. And yeah, but that's what happens early. It happens.
Sometimes.
It happens late too. Shit.
And I can confirm. So the finale episode, we're gonna boot someone at the final 4, and then we're gonna have a mission, and the final 3 will do their thing. Both the winner and the runner up survived quizzes early on by 1 question. Both of them were this close to not would have been out episode 3, episode 4, a long time ago. So again, like it happens this season too. Both the winner and the runner up were this close and scoring absolute atrocities early on.
Yes.
So like,
I mean,
one round.
The early game is such a crapshoot. Like, you're just praying. You're going off nothing. You're splitting as evenly as you can, and you're crossing your fucking fingers. Like, that's what it is.
And you have to do it all in like 5 minutes. What do we have? 5 minutes? 5
minutes. Quick.
But you want to be fast if there's a tie. It's so not even 5 minutes, right? You want to do it in 3 minutes.
I know.
So happens this season too. But as I just dunked on Sam and Ethan, let me give them, a little bit of grace here. We say goodbye to Carson on no tie this time, and this is probably the execution I think the players were most shocked by, besides the Tay execution. Like, everyone was completely dumbfounded that it was Carson. Everyone thought it was them. So as much as they're in their confessional being like, I'm God's gift to the earth, I'm so great at quizzing, everyone thought they were going home this quiz. Why?
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, I think Ben and Sam both said they missed a question, I think, or they flubbed a question, or was it Ethan? I think 2 of them, they flubbed questions.
I think Sam and Ethan said it in the episode. Okay. But that's the thing. So now you have to like rationalize what's happening here.
Right.
Like, either you assume that Carson's an ass quiz taker. That's option 1.
Right.
Option 2 is that you've wrongly assumed where people are at sus-wise, because a lot of them are thinking, oh, we're all in the same person. So by me missing a question, that's why I should be out. So that's why you have to assume either Carson's ass at quizzing, or people are not on the same suspect that you think that they are, or maybe you've actually benefited from answering a question wrong on your main suspect, and you're actually staying because of that wrong answer, which we've seen happen. Season 2 online, Daniel goes home going all in on his suspect, and everyone else who was on the same suspect all stayed because they all missed the same question and missed it in the correct direction of the true mole. So like, it happens where sometimes being inaccurate can be a saving point. So like, you kind of have to rationalize with yourself. You're like, what's happening? Because when you miss a question and then there's also no tie, or at least that's your perception of what's happening. So you now have to kind of like figure out what's going on there.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, go ahead. I want to actually I'll ask it now because I'll probably forget about it. So I just noticed that comparatively to our season, you guys made a considerate effort to lower the number of advantages in the game. Like, there were like +1s didn't even enter the picture until like I don't know when. And was that like purposeful and like just the way this game played, or
that's just how it shook out? I mean, not every mission that was created happened. There were some missions that got left on the cutting room floor that had some more there. We also had like the +1s that were coming from the quizzes early on that no one was aware if they were getting +1s early on. But like formal advantages were just in scarcity this season, and that's just how it happened.
That's okay. It
wasn't intentional, just how it happened. And we'll see about season 3.
On our season I think there were like 4 exemptions on our season, I want to say. Oh, maybe. Anyway.
Well, and the game was like riddled with +1s early on. That's how
it was.
Like,
it was.
Yes.
It was riddled for sure. And we thought that would be to our benefit, and then Simona fucked it up. We thought if we throw so much in the game, no one will know what the fuck happened on the quiz. And then when Simona goes, it's like, well, fuck. That didn't work the way we thought it would. But we live, we learn, and it wasn't an intentional, like, let's course correct it just this season. We're like, oh, just less, and that's just naturally how it worked out. But yeah, and I don't know.
You got very unlucky with Yeah, but with Simona getting eliminated, like, I mean, obviously she got unlucky, but like y'all got unlucky that then like everybody kind of had like there's not a lot you can know in the game, but then when she got eliminated with 2+1s and she played both, and you're just like, well, that means that exactly, it gave them something to grab onto that was substantive that they wouldn't have had otherwise. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, had Simona stayed, who the hell knows what happened?
Yeah, how does that game look if she stays there? Wow. Yeah.
So, moral of the story, it's all Simona's fault. I'm just kidding. No. Let's get to the other mission, and we've already alluded to this whole like Sarah apologizing thing. So let's talk about it. Sarah apologizes for her actions and says, "Hey, like I intentionally did this to try and fuck with Carson. He's gone now. Thank God. I'm here to play for this mission this time. I hope everyone can forgive me." Sam's obviously not buying it. We get a confessional from her. She's like, "No, thank you." Do you believe it? Do you not believe it? What are your thoughts on this kind of through line we're getting from Sarah and her actions from 5 to 4?
I mean, it just sounds like ass to me. Like either she's making something up because she's the mole, or even if she's a regular player in the game and was making like a Rodman play, like this reason and like excuse for why she wanted to do it is just ass. Like, it's literally terrible. There's no way you could have ever controlled Carson being eliminated in the game. I don't think. Like, there's no way that, like, how do your actions not affect other people? Other people might also, like, let's assume for the sake of argument that she's a player. She's not a mole. She's a player in the game, okay? She's doing this because she's making a Rodman play, trying to push all her chips in and reinvent herself and hope that she can change the narrative of the story. But by doing that, other people see that narrative change too. Now, do they buy it? I don't know, but they see it just as much as Carson does. So I don't know how you can, it's like, doing something and hoping it affects one person, but it equally affects everybody in the game. Maybe she thinks from her warped mind, I mean, no shade, but just like from her biased perspective, that she's so mad at Carson for thinking that she's the mole that she can fuck with him a little bit. But again, that, like, everybody kind of knew that she was mad that Carson thought she was the mole. And they all know about that because she did it in front of everybody and threw the water in his face. And everybody knows about that. So, like, it affects everybody equally. There's no way you could have pinned it on Carson. You just got lucky that he was eliminated, or he got eliminated. And in hindsight, you're saying, well, I wanted Carson to go. And that also could be true.
Yeah, it was, I don't know. I'm really stuck on that. And that's kind of where I am with, like, going back and forth on whether Sarah's the mole. Is, like, this is kind of a thing where it's like, okay, like, you're saying that, oh, sorry, like, I had to do this. It's like, no, you didn't. And the like, public apology, I don't know. Like, I'm not, like, I don't know what that's really doing, right? Who is that serving? Like, oh, sorry, I sabotaged, guys. Like, I don't know, kind of like we were saying earlier, it reaches a point where maybe, right, I don't know, but maybe everyone kind of understands who the mole is at a point, right? There's kind of a subtle understanding. And so, like, if you are the mole, and everyone knows you're the mole, why, like, it felt a little like Matt knew when people knew he was the mole, right? And he was still trying to play the character, right? Like, he was. And it felt a little bit like that to me, where it was like,
yes, I agree.
Why are we know what's going on here, why are we doing this? But I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to ever predict what someone's going to do in the game. Obviously, all you can do is play into what people already think, and then the rest is up to whatever they want to decide and take from that.
Right.
Because again, like, people like season 1 or season 2 or any mole game, two different people can look at the exact same thing and come to two different completely rationales or explanations for why things happen. So, like, you can do your best to create sus A or rationale A, but it's not a guarantee that they're going to go with it or think it. And they might, they may not. Like, again, everyone's an independent being. So, like, I totally get from the perspective of you can never believe what someone's going to take from
right. And like, and I don't fucking believe her, because like, her actions don't match her words. She said she was going to try and do something in this challenge and play for the win, And yet she's as Simona alluded to, she's counting the lines and the shapes and whatever the hell she's supposed to be counting in that thing, at a snail's pace, and didn't do a very good job. Also, let the tea show, the other group got $26, her group got $11. So like, Ben was it Ben? No, yeah, it was Ethan in that group. Sorry, Ethan was in that group with her, but I still lay the blame at her feet. Like I felt like Ethan was trying, and I don't feel like she was. So,
let's hop into it. So we hop into numWords. So one duos, we'll start with the duo that's Ben and Sam. So Ben and Sam are solving the 5-letter word. All they know is that the sum of the values of the letters in the word, in their case, is 74. And they need to figure out the values of those letters from Ethan and Sarah, and then hopefully create the 5-letter word that we're asking for. And it's basically Wordle. So we have the reading lines players, which is Sarah in the first round. She's got 13 pieces of paper. One paper will say, for the letter B, count how many squares are on this piece of paper. It's all those like mind puzzles. You see them on Survivor sometimes. So if she can count the shapes correctly, she'll know what the value of that letter is. While Ethan has the other 13 letters of the alphabet, and he's trying to predict what Sarah answered on the questionnaire that was asked before the mission. Very superlative questions. I think Ben was
really. Oh wow.
Huh? Yeah,
I didn't get that part. So Ethan's answering questions based on superlatives that Sarah answered earlier in the game.
He's trying to guess what Sarah answered. So it will say, here's the question. What did Sarah answer for this question? If you think she answered Ethan, this is the value. If she answered Ben, this is the answer.
Okay, that's what those lines were pointing to. Okay. Yeah.
And that's all. And I mean, he's alluding. I mean, he's pretty useless in round one because he doesn't have a read on Sarah. He openly admits it. He's like, I don't have a read on Sarah, so I don't know what she'd answer on any of these. So literally, like, don't listen to anything I'm saying. Like, I'll give you my best guesses, but like, I can't really help because I don't know. And the problem with that group is that your options are defined. And so therefore you've got 3 options, but they're so drastically different. Like sometimes it might say if they selected this one, it's 3, this one, it's 8, this one, it's 22. So like being wrong can be drastically hard there versus.
And you can't communicate, right? This is the superlative, and these are the right. But but would he be able to read them the question, or can he only say the answers?
He could have read the question and been like, here's the question, but like Sarah isn't listening and Sarah can't add any value.
No, that's true.
Right.
So like,
there's
no way for them to like get. I mean, he could have read the
Sam
question,
and Ben could have, maybe if they had a better read. Right. That was kind of my thought. I was like, is he allowed to share that part? Because if he knows he doesn't have a good read, like other than just saying like, I think it's either 2 or 13. Good luck, to actually provide a little more information.
Yep, he could have been like, here's the question, here are the options, like go with what you think. Like if you think Sarah would have answered this way, then the value potentially. Absolutely, he could have.
That's probably what I would have done, I think.
But yeah, basically sat there and kind of resigned to, I don't know, I can't really help you. Versus Sarah's at least more helpful in the sense of you can at least get into a ballpark with those puzzles. Like most people, when they get it wrong, they're at least close to the right answer. So at least in this situation, you're not terribly off from your value. So that's how Sam and Ben are getting the values of the letters, is from Ethan reading minds and Sarah counting squares and triangles and shit. And they're trying to figure out what 5-letter word adds up to 74. But the problem is when you type in a word, that value, if you're off from the value, how off you are deducts from the value of the word. So if you're looking for, in this case, a 74 value word, and you type in one that's 73, you're off by 1. So the value of that word is now reduced by $1. So you don't want to guess too willy-nilly, because being off by too much, we'll see in the Ethan and Sarah group, can reduce the value of the word by a lot. So Ben and Sam are starting off solving the word. They don't even turn on the walkies to start the mission. Like, my God. Like, again, it's been a long day. I get it. But I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like, we can't even.
We were talking about the walkies in episode 1, and here we are in episode 9 still talking about
turn them on. It's fine. The walkies are the death of this group, and we've all admitted it, and it's okay. But as soon as they turn them on, Sam breaks cardinal rule number 1. The only rule was if you're solving the word, you cannot communicate back. That was laid out as many times as we could. And immediately Sam's like, hey, Sarah. And I'm like, And Ben calls her out and he's like, you can't do that. Like, come on now. So she gets deducted $1 later on. I was nice and only took out $1. Should have taken out more. But I was being.
I was gonna say like we're I was
been,
like, she got lucky that it was only $1.
Yeah,
like, they could have lost the whole fucking pot.
I'm like, girl, Jesus, like
that
the
portion of
bare
it,
minimum cardinal rule, especially from Sam, who's such the group's so dumb, the group's an idiot, and here she is breaking the one rule that was in the mission, the one rule. So yeah, I think Ben lays it out pretty well in the sense of this mission's hard because we don't know if we're getting truthful information, and it's obvious, and it's also not even like intentionally wrong information. The puzzles Sarah has and Sam will have as well are difficult. They naturally are hard, and if you don't have a read on your partner, you might be giving wrong answers unintentionally as well. So like the information you're getting might not be right, but also it could be unintentionally incorrect, or it could be intentionally incorrect.
Right. So there are people who are auditioning for season 3 of Subversion who are watching this episode, okay? And I just want to tell you that if you go on Subversion, bitch, it ain't the mole. This is not ABC's The Mole, where it's like A or B on the quiz, like is the mole male or female? Like it's not. No, that is not how this is. This is what the challenges are like. Okay, crazy ass, like counting the shapes, things that most people cannot do. Okay, I don't know that I could do it. I failed at many of the challenges in the game, and I consider myself to be a smart guy. Okay. These are really brainy challenges. Yeah. You see what Ben and Sam are doing when they're like adding up the things. They're like, well, using logic to deduct. Okay, well, it has to be this word or it has to be this choice because XXXX. And they did a pretty good job of that. But I don't know that I'm totally capable of it. I don't know that the people who are auditioning for season 3 of Subversion and beyond are necessarily capable of it. I'm just warning you that if you come, that this is not your mother's mole. This is Subversion, and they named it Subversion because it ain't the mole. I just want that to be clear.
We're not hosting ABC The Mole.
Yeah,
we're not. If you're watching Ahmad Rashad host The Mole, and you're expecting that,
easy money. There's no easy money.
There's no easy money here. It's all earned. You got to earn it. No
hard challenges. Like student level, college level challenges. That's why I suck so bad.
And they're still at like $700 out of, I think we ended up giving out like over like 2,400. But like the pot's not done yet. But like they're still at like 780. Like that's still not a bad effort here from difficult challenges, and we don't deny it.
It's a $2,000 pot, right? So if they get to like 1,000, that's like a 50-50.
And that's typically where we're hoping to get in like the 800, 900, 1,000 range, and we hit it postseason. So like we'll take it.
Okay.
Cool. But it's my favorite. It's my favorite thing to do every week is dunk on Samantha Lechner, and I will do it once again. I really do giggle at the absolute terrible strategy she employed here. Her first strategy was, can we think of 5 numbers that add up to 74? That's a lot of combinations, let me tell you. When she's like, 5 numbers add up to 74? A lot, Sam. A lot of combinations.
A lot of numbers
add up to 74. And then she says, what 500 words do you know? Like, what? Like, what? And again, it's been a long day. This is day 4 of a very long time. But like, what kind of strategies are these? What 500 words do you know? My Lord, that really.
But you shade her because you love her.
Oh, I love her dearly. But I'm like, girl. But again, it's also coming if she didn't have this persona of I'm amazing, I'm fabulous in everything I do, and I'm like, but then you do shit like this. And I'm like, well, what's happening here? Ultimately, I think they did the best that they could. They obviously got a bunch of wrong numbers because Ethan is just completely unhelpful. And at least Sarah's, regardless if she's right or she's wrong, she's at least in the ballpark. But again, that's just the nature of the challenge that she can do. And same thing with Sam when she does it. She's at least in the ballpark. But like they're off in their numbers. So they put in delay, which is off by 16. So $16 is already taken out. By just being so off, but that I think was more so a problem from Ethan and Sarah and providing the numbers. Okay. So then they're like, all right, we have A, L, and E all in the wrong spots. And Ben is like, okay, we can do steel or slate. It's the same letters. It doesn't matter. And he's like, let's just do steel, even though the A we know is in the wrong spot. So doing steel doesn't make sense. And Sam calls him out on it, being like, why would we do steel? we know Steele can't be right because it's Wordle and the A is not in the right spots. So they end up doing Slate. So I'm like, thank God Sam at least corrects him. Thank you for not like putting in a word that you know is wrong. Like that just makes no freaking sense. Again, off by 8, so they're getting a little closer now. So they still lose another $8. And then they get whale because they have most of the letters in the right places. So good on them, $26, but it ends up being 25 because of the violation from Sam. But overall, like they did a decent job. Not half bad. 25 out of 50 for their word. Not bad at all. Ethan and Sarah, on the other hand, again, it's not fully their fault. I'm not gonna like just dunk on them completely. Like Sam is not doing a great job with the squares and the triangles and shit. She's off on a good chunk of them, but again, she's in the ballpark. Ben is of no fucking use. I don't know what Ben was doing. It's a lot of maybes, probablys. Then he just starts antagonizing them near the end, being like, "How are y'all not done yet? Like, I'm just gonna start making paper stones. If I was the mole, I would do this. Hey, Sarah, if Ethan's sabotaging, can you take the walkie from him and just like take over?" Like Ben just starts antagonizing them instead of like actually helping, which really tickled me. But because they're getting no assistance, Ethan just puts in a word. He's like, we got to start somewhere, and I think that's at least you have to start. Like if you're not getting numbers, got to start somewhere. Can't just like sit around hoping things are gonna make themselves happen. So he puts in boast, which he realizes wasn't a very good guess after he did it, because after he typed in boast, because their value is only 45, so it's a lot lower of a word, and he's like, oh, we were told O was a really high value letter, so we probably shouldn't have guessed boast, because if O is pretty high, it would mean the other letters have to be really low to add up to 45, but he already typed it in too late. But that was 23 points off, so that was $23 out immediately just from yes of boast, which again, Ethan clocked a little too late, being like, why did we guess a word with O in it? Like that was really dumb of us. But they do get ST and A. So like that's super helpful and at least guides them to know, like, okay, we know ST and A are in the word, they're not in the right spot, or the A's in the right spot, but the S and the T aren't. And that leads them on this kind of stamp, shark, stand train of thought, because they quickly realize it's an STA word. But I think Ethan took a lot of charge in the mission and put in a lot of words that weren't right. There was one time where Sarah literally suggested stand, and Ethan then did shark instead, when stand would have been the better word to have guessed, because it was closer in value and also would have given them the N. But it also might come from just like general distrust at this point. Obviously, Sarah just the last mission, so why the fuck am I going to listen to her again? But in this case, Sarah actually did give a word that would have been a lot better than shark. I don't know why Ethan did that. I don't know. But shark was off by 9, so that was $9 down versus stand. Gave them the N, was only off by $4. But the stamp, the shark, the stand of it all only leaves them with $11 at the end when they finally get stain. But I think they were just trying to make what they could, because Ben was just completely unhelpful. And again, like...
Okay, so the biggest tell that I had in this particular part of the mission is that when Ben walkie-talkies to Ethan and Sam, and Ethan and Sarah, and says, "Hey, Sarah, if Ethan is sabotaging, just take charge of the mission." I know what's happening here. He thinks that Sarah is the mole. However, he knows that production will not air that. They're not going to just tell everybody the episode before, okay, this person is the fucking mole. This is who everybody thinks is the fucking mole, okay? So he reversed it and made it like, ha-ha, sarcastic, as in like, hey, Sarah, if Ethan is sabotaging, why don't you take charge? I.e. telling Ethan, if Sarah is sabotaging, why don't you get the fucking line and do something about it and just ignore her? So I think that's what's happening here. I would love to be wrong, but like, I think that's what's happening.
Because he also did something similar in the voiceover of Carson's elimination. He said, I'm pretty sure I will still be here, Sarah will still be here, and the mole will still be here. Good luck to everyone else.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. I wrote that down. I've totally forgot a piece of paper somewhere. But like, I did remember that. Yes. And I'm like, that sounded weird. Yes. But proceed. We're almost there.
No, keep talking about it. I mean, if you just think it's full on live.
Yeah. I just think like I feel like he's exposed who he thinks the mole is. Again, I could be wrong. I'd love to be wrong. That'd be funny. That'd be very funny. But like I really do think the mole is Sarah here, and that's what Ben was doing in the challenge. Is just like, hey, if the mole is sabotaging, just take charge. Like that's all you got to do. But he couldn't say that because he knows Foster's not going to air that if he says it outright. Just like you in your confessional, if you say who you think the mole is and you're right, they're not going to air that because if somehow gets confirmed, they're just not going to do that. Like you have to speak in like a third person, like my top suspect is still in the game. That's what you have to say. You can't be like this person specifically is my suspect, and I think they're the mole, and because of X, Y, and Z, and they're still in the game. I feel like they only air the wrong ones. You know what I mean? I'm sure that they've aired some right ones. I have to go back and look on my season to see how many times they aired Matt. People thinking that Matt was the mole anytime in the game. You know what I mean? But like again, I still think that that's what's happening here with Ben.
I think it changes. Like I think earlier on, it's like everyone's suspicious of everyone. It's just as you get later in the game and people start to actually get a right idea. If everyone is on Matt as the mole, you're not going to show that everyone is on Matt as the mole if Matt is the mole.
And we're further along here. Yeah, we're at like the final 4 here. So like, yeah. So everyone probably is. Can we ask? I don't know if you'll answer this question. Are all 4 people on the same wavelength? I mean, obviously we're excluding the mole, but like, are all 4 people thinking the same person as the mole, or are people going in different directions?
The 4
Can you answer that? I feel like you can, but go ahead.
At the final 5, 4 people are on the same page and 1 person's on a different page. If you want to believe that 1 person is the mole, you can absolutely think that. Or you can think that 1 person is not the mole and has been duping everyone. Up to you.
Okay.
4 people on the same page, 1 person is on a completely different page.
All right, cool. Cool.
I'll leave it at that.
All right. Well, I mean, again, that's what leads me to my Rodman theory. Like, so if Carson thought that Sarah was the mole and he put her down on the quiz and everybody else is thinking somebody else is the mole, then Carson got eliminated. Sarah ain't the mole. Sarah's making a big move here and trying to win the game with the last minute 3-pointer. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, gotta see what happens because
I predict that I think Ben goes home on the next elimination. Like at the start of episode, at the start of the finale, I'm going to take them at their word. They're tooting their own horn. I have to believe that they are really good at quiz taking. If Sarah is the mole, that means that Sam and Ethan and Ben are up for elimination, and Sam and Ethan just think they're monstrously good quiz takers. I've never heard Ben say that he thinks he's a monstrously good quiz taker. Usually you take people at their word. I remember when Tay said that, like, I don't think I'm as good as these people, so I need advantages in the game. Like, she clocked herself, like, I know these people are better than me, so I need to do something to help myself here. I consequently also believe that Ben is the most likely to go home of the 3 possible people if Sarah is the mole.
I mean, Ben has played an incredibly risky game, holding on to that exemption for...
That was wild. Congrats on him. Yeah, let's give him props for that. I feel like we didn't talk enough about Ben doing that, but I'm sure he won some props for it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, definitely deserves props. And it's incredibly risky. And he talks, I think, in this episode about how he's kind of lost this safety blanket, that he's kind of had for the last couple rounds, where he's like, even though he wasn't playing it, right, it's nice to feel, well, I don't know how nice it is to feel like you have that in your pocket, because if you go out with it in your pocket, you feel like a fucking idiot. But it's nice to feel like you have that in your pocket, right, as a fallback at some point. Right. And so he's like, all of a sudden, I don't really have my safety net anymore. And like, that makes me nervous. Right. So he is a little bit more transparent about feeling a little bit more vulnerable now. I went back and I looked, and in episode 1, I did have Sam as my potential winner pick. So I feel I have to stick to my guns at this point, and follow through with that. That'd be pretty cool if I actually got it right. But I think it's up in the air for sure.
Is your mole also Sarah?
I think I mean, at this point, my mole is
Well, who
Sarah.
is it?
At the start of the game,
Yeah,
my
that's
mole
the
is
thing. If it's not Sarah, then who the fuck is it?
Yeah. I think if Sam were to be the mole, because Butler, I think, had Sam as his mole, or one of his possible mole, and then again, he had Ben C as his winner pick, so take that with a grain of salt. But I think Sam as the mole would also be interesting and like very compelling. Like there was definitely a point where I was like reflecting on some conversations that we'd had about the season where it was like, I could see Sam lining up with some of these like descriptions of what you've said the mole was this season, just like really bold-faced lying to the camera and such, and kind of keeping up this character. And she definitely was able to be trusted by people, and kind of like you said, her actions weren't necessarily following her words. And so I think if she was actually the mole, I think that's very compelling, and I would love to see that as well. But I don't think it's Ethan. I think, like, just like presence-wise, we haven't really seen much sabotage from him, or like even like discussion of it very much. I feel like I think Sam and Sarah have been a lot more overt in their discussions of like challenge performance. And Ben has been kind of more like in this role of like, I'm figuring it out. And I feel like Ethan has kind of also been in that I'm figuring it out role, but kind of in a quieter sense. And so him as a mole would be interesting, but at this point, I'm definitely thinking it's most likely Sarah. Yeah.
And then Brent, who's winning of Ethan and Sam, if it does end up as the two God's gifts to the world in quizzing.
I mean, like for good TV, I hope it's Sam. But Ethan is, like he's won me over as time has gone on. Still doesn't look at the fucking camera in his confessionals. But we'll teach him when he comes back for All Stars. I think Sam will be the winner. I'm just gonna go with that. I'm totally copying Simona. Sam's gonna be the winner, and Sarah's the mole. The funny part is that if the only other universe that exists in this multiverse of what is possible is that if Sam is the mole, to me, Ethan cannot be the mole, and Ben W cannot be the mole. Like in my opinion, that would be a little. How do I want to say this? Of the four people left, I do feel like that Murphy and Danny would pick Sam as the mole, most likely of the four people. Like they would go for that. Like, oh yeah, like this would be fucking hilarious. Like this is totally up our alley. But I also feel like Sarah's like right behind that, right behind. So, and I don't even know that Sam necessarily went for the mole. Like, there were two people who didn't go audition to be the mole. Like I think you said that. Maybe she, huh?
Two or three, I don't remember.
Two or three, okay, 2 or 3. A minority of people that didn't exist and that didn't audition to be the mole, and maybe Sam was one of those people. I don't know. There are people who are not cut out to be the mole. Maybe she knew she wasn't. I don't know. But like again, to me, the only universe that exists is either Sarah's the mole, most likely, and that's my pick. And if it's not Sarah, then it's Sam. If it's not either one of those two, I'll be absolutely fucking gobsmacked. I mean, I need some explanation. As for the winner of the season is Sam. And if it's not Sam, it's Ethan. Ben, I love you. You've been great this season. Actually won me over. Like I wasn't feeling him in the beginning, but like he's actually been very fun. Maybe it's just because he's done so many LRGs and ORGs that like this is just like he felt like free to just do whatever he wanted this season. Like holding on to that exemption was fucking wild to me. Crazy. Like I don't know anyone in our season that would have done that. I really don't. Also the advantages were more plentiful in our season. So if you play, I feel like it's like I think Simona told me this on our season. I remember when we were talking about this, I asked you if you were going to play like your advantages, and you were like, yeah, like you don't want to go home with them in your pocket, and you can always get more tomorrow. Like, they're handing them out like candy. So like, why will we not play them now when we have them? Like, so I don't know anybody else who would have done that. So kudos for him for doing that. He's also been very, very fun late in the game. So, and Ethan is, like I said, won me over. Sarah, if she's the mole, she's been fucking fantastic. I've had her on my mole list from the very beginning. Gotten more concerned as things have gone along that she could be the mole. And again, she's very clippable in terms of GIFs and like video clips that I like to clip off of Subversion. So she's been a really good time.
Yeah. No, couldn't have been prouder of our mole, whoever it may be. In 2 days, you will learn who it is, but they have done an absolutely incredible job. easily our favorite mole that we've ever hosted in terms of online allergy. I think that they really went for the jugular, and like just had so many thoughts prepared as to like all of these decision trees for like, if this happens, I want to do that, and just like really came prepared, and like I think really fooled a lot of this cast to the point that they just didn't want to believe it. And like I have to give it up to them.
That makes me more likely think it's Sam, but it could be Sarah. Like it could be either one. I'm with you. Like but still like that. Like if I could, like Sam, like behaving as she is would be to me going for the jugular, because she's like so rah about herself and so like I'm surrounded by fucking idiots, that if she was actually the mole, it would be fucking hilarious. And I would be gobsmacked. I can't wait to see. I love it that I don't know who the mole is. I obviously like we talked about this in the Discord. Like I would love to come back if we ever did an all-star season of Subversion. But I have such a good time being a fan of the show. Like I really do. So like I really have a good time in the Discord, and like, you know, being wrong a lot of the time. It's fun. You know?
That's what I love about the show so much, is you can just watch along and you really never.
And people keep a secret. Like people. Yes, this community is very great. People keep a fucking secret. I have no fucking clue who the mole is.
Yeah.
Like, I do based on the edit of the show and what's happening, but I don't know anything from anything that anybody said anywhere. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you to the cast. Thank you to production for keeping, even though they don't know who the winner is either, but like, thank you for keeping the mole secret at least.
Yes. Yes.
So all of those fun things, but you heard it here first. Brent and Simona get the last word on the season 2 after show, because our finale airs on Saturday, June 21st, I think at 9. I don't know if a time has actually been disclosed. It kind of depends on the final. It depends on the people who are there at the finale party in terms of when they're gonna get, because they want to watch together and they're going to a bar or something. So sometime on Saturday evening.
Sorry. So are you doing what you did last season, where you're like going live to the people who were there and talking to them? Because didn't you do that last season, or am I remembering?
We did that last season because everyone in the finale was going to be there. Sarah will not be at the finale.
Cool. All right, cool. All right.
So that was not possible, but we filmed everything.
Cool. All right.
For season 2.
So you filmed. Can I ask this question? I don't know if you'll answer this question. So for our season, you only filmed Matt coming out because everyone in the finale had the same thought, and they all knew that Matt was the mole. And then you filmed 2 different options for the winner, because we didn't know who the winner was. For this season, once you get down to the final 3, did you film all 3 people coming out as the mole? Or
that's always our intention. I actually wasn't.
I know that's your intention. Yeah.
I actually wasn't at the house when this happened. But that was the intention. I don't know if we ended up actually doing it. I wasn't at the house.
Okay, cool.
So,
all right. Cool.
I think so, but don't quote me on it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Okay, all right. Well, I know that was the intention on our season as well. That's what they kept saying they were going to do. And then
we were going to do it, and
they were like, everyone fucking knows. So we're just going to do this. Like
at like the noise ordinance.
Yes,
like,
the 10 o'clock, the cutoff or whatever. Yes, exactly.
Go.
Yeah, go. Yeah.
Don't quote me. I wasn't at the house. I was cleaning up at our house. But no, I don't know. Folks will
okay, cool. All good. Yep.
But
well, thanks for having me back.
Yes, so happy to have you back, and we'll probably have you both back in the after show for next season. Spoiler alert: Brent and Simona are not on the cast for season 3.
We're not.
Spoiler alert. Nope, all newbies. So I'll be back in a year at some point to start recapping Subversion Live season 3, which is crazy. But our finale is in 2 days. We'll learn everything. Who's out before the finale? Who's the runner-up? Who's the winner? Who's the mole? We'll learn it all in just 2 short days. Is it Ben? Is it Ethan? Is it Sam? Or is it Sarah? All the answers in just 2 short days. We're going to end off with the preview to the finale. And thanks for joining this season of the After Show. I'll catch you all in a year. Bye.
For the final time this season, we are about to get to the execution.
The time has come to take your final quiz of the season.
I will now reveal to you the question that you have spent the entire season trying to answer.
Who is?
One, two,